Hello and welcome to the Wheel to Wheel podcast with Ali and Akeem.
This is our F1 weekly catch-up. So, Austria.
Yes, the Austrian Grand Prix. Hit and miss.
You know what? I think the Austrian GP, right, it had the best first 10 laps.
I'd say a bit more, 15, because I feel like, yeah, we might as well get into it for the McLaren battle.
Oh.
That was good.
Even George and Lewis as well.
Yeah, for the first, 2-3 laps. But then safety car came out. I think that kind of took the juice out of the battle between George and Lewis there. But let's go back to the battle for first place, and we had that for about 18 laps before the pit window, before Lando pitted and delivered. I think it really did deliver.
You know what? I don't know why. Yeah, it's only now. Can you imagine how long we've been saying we wanted to see the McLarens really go at it, and it's just amazing that we finally got to see it. And I feel like this is only the beginning. And Austria as well.
We got it in Canada, but I know it was only short lived. We only had 2 laps of it in Canada, but I enjoyed the Canada one. And it was just going side by side, both DRS flaps open, and it was just some Need for Speed shit, Fast and Furious, too Fast and Furious. So I was like, damn, man, someone needs to bring out the NOS there.
Paul Walker. Vin Diesel shit.
Forget about it, Kerr.
Shit, Kerr.
But, them two delivered for the Austrian Grand Prix. I do feel like the pit stop did kill their energy to their race. I think it was Oscar's decision to go longer, but he had a flat spot, and I wish he would have just reacted to the pit and just gone one lap later to Lando Norris, and then we could have had them a bit more closer. With his flat spot on his tyre from braking heavily into turn 4?
Yeah, but I was self-inflicted though.
It was self-inflicted, but it was his decision to go out longer on those tyres. So I just feel like if you got a flat spot, just go in for it. Just change your tyres.
Yeah, and then Colapinto didn't help him either, to be fair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it didn't get picked up on the radio, but I'm sure I read it on Twitter. It was Oscar Piastri said on the radio, it's I knew Alpine would find a way to fuck me over. I hope it's true. But it was one of those unreleased radios. Yeah, I hope it's true, man. That was perfect.
That's actually good banter.
But, it could have ended so badly. I don't know what Colapinto was thinking, because he's there.
Facts. And you're a back marker.
Yeah. Tsunoda went through fine. You can do that. Tsunoda didn't, interfere with Oscar's race like that. What Colapinto was trying to defend against Oscar Piastri, who's already a lap ahead of you. I'm just thinking dude, chill, man. You're not that guy right now. You're not fighting a McLaren. That's what I mean. I've said this about Colapinto. I feel like he's a bit too big for his boots. And I get that you're young and hungry and you want to get in. It's just know when to pick your battles, because that is not your battle.
No
so definitely needs to chill out. But on the McLarens and on Oscar and Lando winning means the championship fight is now a lot closer and a lot more tense.
Yeah, it's a lot more alive, and I think this is what Lando needed, isn't it?
He needed a bounce back.
He needed a bounce back. He needed that thing to feel. He needed to feel that whole thing, and he played a better role. I'm not gonna say it was world class, because he did have moments where he went off and whatever have you. But I felt like him at the front managing it, he done a lot better than I've seen other times. You know what I'm saying? He's done a lot better.
Yeah, and to be fair to him, he did have front wing damage as well. So he probably did lose a bit of downforce at some point in the race. When it happened, I feel like there was that moment when they were doing the switcheroo, and I feel like maybe the slightest of touches. I don't know. I don't think it might be that, but I don't know what it was. But he did have some damage.
Because I think it was kind of like a game of chess as well. Because I realised when Piastri was overtaking Lando, there was a DRS point, right? And what I realised when I've noticed Piastri kind of lost the race was there was a point where he overtook him and he should have not done it right where he done it, because by the point he didn't have DRS, and then it was easy for Lando to just make the switcheroo right after that.
But
You know what I'm saying?
there's a lot of tracks are like that. It's like know when to overtake because you know the next DRS detection zone is coming up. It's like Max and Leclerc in Bahrain. It's like they were taking turns, and you saw that with Lewis and Lando in Jeddah when Lewis allows him to overtake. He was like, take it, but I'm going to get the big DRS down the main straight and overtake you again. So yeah, Oscar Piastri is probably like thinking that's the moment where he lost the race. And kudos to Lando. He kind of used some...
Yeah, I have to give him his credit when it's due, man. You have to give him his flowers, man.
I'm actually happy he won, just make the championship a bit more interesting at the front. It puts a bit more pressure on Oscar.
Yeah.
Max and Kimi.
I'm talking about championship. Yeah, I think this is where Max definitely...
I think it's 60 points.
Yeah, I think this is where I can see... It's a whole different Max now. Or Max to literally... I know Kimi is new, don't get me wrong. But for Max to take it on the chin like that, it means he's kind of accepted his...
He's checked out. I think he checked out in Spain. I said it then. He's checked out. The way he lashed out on George at Spain, that to me was just like... He's like, it's like you chuck all your toys at the pram. It's like, that was it for Max. I think, it was done for him then. And I think he knows it. He's mentally checked out. Even like in the interview afterwards, he was like, he didn't want to do the interview straight away after his DNF. He was like, I was just watching a different race. He wasn't even watching the F1. He went to go watch the race at Spa. GT.
Watch a GT race.
Yeah. Wow. That's what I mean. He's checked out. I don't think he cares about... I think he will go on to the track and he will try to do his best. Yeah. I think that's in Max, that he always wants to win. It's his natural competitiveness. Facts. But he doesn't care if something doesn't go his way at the moment now, because 60 points deficit is just... It's too crazy to overcome, and that's relying on McLaren's to do crap, and their car is just a masterpiece.
Yeah, I think they were a second ahead or something of like a lot of
Ferrari.
It's crazy.
And what's crazy is like those two, up until the 18th lap, they were pushing each other, hard racing, while everybody else was looking after their tires, but they were still pulling in going 7/10 quicker than the Ferraris and 1 second quicker than the Mercedes. And I think, how good is that car?
I'm telling you, they know how to manage the tires, and it's like, that's why I've clocked, like, even when Max will overtake the McLaren, it's like they are easy because like it's gonna come to them regardless. Like
they don't have to do much.
Yeah, exactly. When you have a car, like it doesn't have to be like OP in qualifying. I don't think McLaren's OP in qualifying. They're good, but I feel like you can still Max can still get a cheeky one. George can get a cheeky one in there. But when it comes to the race, this car it's gonna pass, bro. It's the, what do you call it? It's like it's the marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, facts.
I mean, from Australia, when Lando's race engineer just said that, it's like, just keep it within the white lines. Just, it's all in the car. And to this point, it's still valid. It's just all in the car. Not to take anything away from like Lando and Oscar. They are good drivers, but that car is phenomenal. It's ahead by a country mile from everybody else for sure, man. It's just that good, isn't it? But what was really interesting in the Austrian Grand Prix wasn't the top 5. The top 2 entertained us for the first 18 laps, and then 3rd, 4th, and 5th was just boring. Like the Ferraris didn't do anything. George didn't do anything. But from 6th to 10th, that was good with Lawson, Alonso, Bortoleto, Hülkenberg. Hülkenberg climbed from like 19th to get into the points.
With a kick salvo. My God.
We can't even say with a kick salvo anymore, because kick salvo are here now. They've arrived. You have to admit they have arrived now.
They should have done this later on, fam.
So our bet between the Haas versus the Sauber, like you didn't think it was gonna ever get to this point.
Never. You know how much points they collected last season? My God. I think it was like Joe Garnier.
2 points.
Yeah, Joe Garnier.
Yeah.
Second to last race?
Yeah, Qatar.
Yeah, mad.
And now they are like 20 odd points. And my prediction for Bortoleto, just Bortoleto precisely, I was like, because the Sauber was there in that window. I just thought, this is, if you guys don't know already, he's the F2 champion. And I just wanted him to be in a good car just to show what he's capable of. And he did. He had a really good race, and he was having a little fight between Alonso towards the end as back markers to the McLarens. I have to say, without those guys, the race would have been so boring because they delivered. There was some good racing there.
And you know what's so funny, right? It was funny because when you're watching the race, right, you're watching it like the back markers, you're watching them in front of like the main guys, the McLarens. And it's just like, of all the ones, they're actually the most fun to watch. And they're at the front. Like,
but it's just crazy though. It's like, imagine being a back marker while still being in the top 10. That's crazy to me. You're still in the top 10 fighting for points, but you're a back marker to the McLarens. That's just wild. Another compliment to the McLarens. Like, that's how good they are.
Damn.
But yeah, that thing at the end between Alonso and Bortoleto and the McLarens was just pure entertainment. Because Alonso was being a bit cheeky, but that's Alonso's experience. And what makes it even more funnier is that Alonso is Bortoleto's manager.
Facts. I didn't even know that at the time.
I think it was kind of like showing him the levels. It's like, eventually you're going to be better than me, but like, let me show you why I'm your manager. Do you know what I mean? I would be the same. Imagine, like, I don't want to be done by my student like that.
Nah, so yeah, not passing that torch yet, mate.
Even though Bortoleto would have already overtaken him, but it's just the defense, playing with the blue flags at the same time, because he let Lando through, but then he quickly tried to overtake Lando again because it's well within your right to try outlap yourself. So it's like, it just showed his racecraft, and I thought, okay, fair enough, Alonso.
I rate Alonso, he goes for it. And Stroll, man, fucking hell. Outdone himself.
we don't need to talk about Lance Stroll. Let's go to the next subject. We know as race fans where we stand with Lance Stroll. Let's move past it.
Allegedly.
Let's look ahead to
brighter futures.
Yeah.
Like Silverstone.
Yes. That's, I think, one of the best races in the calendar. Top 3 easy.
Facts.
So we've got the British Grand Prix this Sunday, and I can't wait. It's one of the ones that I just look forward to every year.
Fast pace, man. Just not. And it always has something. There's always something.
I love it.
Something iconic happens, and this one, I feel like it might. I don't want to speak too soon.
You don't want to. Yeah, you can manifest it.
Yeah.
Yeah, manifest that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Well, let's recap what happened last year, and it was what a Silverstone last year. I think nobody would have seen it, and how like poetic it was for Lewis Hamilton to end his winless drought at the British Grand Prix and with breaking that record with Mercedes in his last year. Really good. I love that Silverstone Grand Prix, even though I really wish there was maybe 1 or 2 more laps in it. It'd be like, oh, come on, Max. I feel like Max was he was at the gearbox, Lewis, in the last 10. I was like, oh, man. But it is what it is. You can't have more laps. But let's go into the predictions. What do you think? Poll prediction. Let's go for poll prediction now.
Yeah. So, I'm going to give pole to Lando.
Okay.
I'm going to give Lando pole.
You're going with the momentum?
Yeah. I'm going to carry that momentum. McLaren's good. He's been a very good qualifier. And, yeah.
My poll prediction... I feel like I always want to go opposite. It's like, maybe I would have gone Lando, but it's like, nah, let me cook. Let me see. My poll prediction is going to be George Russell.
I knew you were going to say
George Russell.
I knew it.
I'm going to go George Russell. I just, I kind of look back to things historically as well. I'm going back to last year and the year before that and how Lando performs in the British Grand Prix. He's not bad. I feel like he kind of averages in that top 3. Yes, the car is the best this year, so most likely it might be Lando Norris. But I think George and also Lewis, they know this track so well, and I feel like they do perform at this track. George was very unlucky last year in the race. He had to retire. But he did get pole last year in a Mercedes that was slower than the McLaren's last year, so I think he can do it again.
I get you. I don't think you're wrong, because I was in two minds between George and Lando.
Yeah.
Solely because I think Lando for his obvious reasons, but George is really good at Silverstone. He's a very good qualifier. Obviously, I don't think Lewis would get pole. I would say he would do well, but I feel like he does better in races when he doesn't get pole in Silverstone. I don't think he...
I mean, most of his wins for Silverstone comes from pole.
Does it?
I think so, yeah. The Mercedes dominant.
Edit it out.
I am the editor. I'm not gonna...
You don't want me to be wrong. You don't want me to sound bad.
No, but I mean, you could just change it to recent years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Recent years.
Because he won last year from second.
Yeah.
But then he didn't... But he also won 2021 from second also. But he took Max out on that one. But he did win it. That's still part of the statistic. So yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, fair enough. But let's go over to our podium predictions, our race predictions. Top three.
Top three.
Shall we start with
Third.
Yeah. One by one gone.
All right. Third. I think George for third.
George Russell. Fair enough. I think I am gonna go for third place. Oscar Piastri.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Oscar Piastri for third.
Okay.
I think he'll be thereabouts.
Yeah, he's relatively close.
Yeah. He didn't perform that great in the last 2 years at Silverstone. I don't know, maybe it might be track specific, maybe it's not his track. Who knows? I might be wrong, but I'm gonna go third. Second.
Lando.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Lando.
Lando Norris for second. I am going to back that one and say, yeah, Lando Norris second place also.
Okay.
And I think we're going to share this first place, aren't we?
Are we?
I feel like we are.
Oh.
Unless you're going to... Unless you go with your gut feeling.
Oh,
or the hopium. Is it hopium? I think it's hopium. If you're going to say what I think you're going to say, then we're going to share it. But if you're going to go with hopium, then I know what you're going to say. Is also, it's between two British drivers for you.
Yeah, I think British drivers are going to be on that pole regardless.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Lewis Hamilton.
For win?
For the win. I'm going to say for the win.
Nah, man, say it with your chest. Tell the camera.
Listen, Lewis Hamilton is winning Silverstone in that Ferrari. Yes,
clip it.
That's what I'm saying.
Clipping
it now. Yes, timestamp. 18 minutes when you're editing it. Just remember. That's what it is.
Dickhead. I'll remember it. I'll clip it. I'll clip it. Put it on TikTok. And then you'll be embarrassed. Like, of course.
Imagine get taken out for everyone.
I'm going to go first place, George Russell. I'm going to go George all the way through for Silverstone.
Oh, wow.
I don't know, something tells me it's just going to be his Grand Prix. I think Lando will do well, as he always does in the British Grand Prix. I think he's averaged podiums in the last 2 years. However, I feel like this track, the moment, the occasion gets to Lando Norris, I think the British Grand Prix for him, obviously because he's British, it's just so high up there. He wants to win that so badly that it kind of the occasion gets too big for him. Yeah,
and we already saw, like, even though we were praising him in Austria, we saw some little, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, even last year, we saw what happened to it last year. He had the win last year. He should have gone on the mediums. I don't know. He wanted to copy Lewis. He was like, no, I need to cover off Lewis. Went on the softs. If he had the mediums, he would have won that race, no problem. But then he also stopped deep into his pit stop, which made the pit stop a lot slower. Just these little margin for errors. He's just, and I think the occasion is too big for him, which is why I'm going to go second. I think he'll do okay. I'm going to go George Russell because he's a bit icy cold at the moment. His form is pretty good.
I get you. Because the reason why I was picking Lewis, not only because of Hofium, but I think it's because, like, I'm putting some...
Upgrades?
Yeah, I'm putting some emphasis on that because...
But Mercedes are also bringing upgrades.
Yes, that is true. Granted. However, I think that Ferrari's been lacking this upgrade for so long this is like something that they've been meant to bring back for how long ago, but they've delayed it, they've postponed it, they've done this whole thing on the floor. The floor seemed to have worked. So I'm just saying, if that's just the floor, putting them in 3 and 4th, then hopefully with that suspension on the floor kicking, Ferrari can finally harness this thing that they have, that they've always had for so long. They can finally probably harness the power of that car, the real potential.
But they didn't get 3 and 4th in Austria. No, I mean in Canada. But also they didn't bring in the upgrades in Austria, right?
No, Austria was when they brought the floor in.
Oh, they brought a new floor for Austria?
Yeah, but they didn't bring anything the race before that.
For Canada?
Yeah.
Okay.
They've always been saying of stuff about the setups. Like, Ferrari's been very stubborn with getting the setups right, but they've not been bringing upgrades because they've been focusing on setups. So now they brought one upgrade. They've done better, putting them 3rd and 4th. This is going to be the 2nd upgrade. So, by maths, if the math is mathing, they should do well.
But I don't think Ferrari know how to do maths. They still key stage 1 maths, man. They're at the bottom set of maths, man. Ferrari was a student. You know, they're bottom set, man. They are probably in our class in maths, man.
No comment.
I mean, I hope Ferrari can, because Silverstone is that longer waited one for Ferrari. It's like, this is when they're going to bring in the major upgrades. I think a lot of teams, Mercedes are bringing upgrades. I think Red Bull are still bringing upgrades. However, I just don't know if it's going to be enough to battle the McLaren. The McLaren's at a point where it's just, they're untouchable.
Granted.
And if I'd like, Max has got a few wins and George has got a win, but then when you look at the context of those wins, it's not even down to like pace of the car. Max's 2 wins was, Max had pace in Imola, but I think in Japan it was down to quali, and the track is very technical.
The driver,
and he was able to keep it. Yeah, it was driver specific. He was able to keep them behind through dirty. And his dirty air plays a key role. Imola, Red Bull had pace over McLaren's because he had quite a big gap. So Red Bull was pretty good at Imola, and then George, Mercedes had pace. But McLaren's also had pace, but it's just having Lando messing up pole position in Canada, all these play a part. There are moments where McLaren's won't be good, but I do think they're going to be good in the British Grand Prix. There's no chance they're going to be, it's not going to be a Canada, it's going to be a Japan, or it's going to be an Imola. For sure, McLaren's going to be there. And whether Ferrari can close that gap, I don't know. I really don't know. It's like, there's so many components to this. It's Ferrari.
Yeah, listen, I'm gambling all on red, man. Putting it all on red today.
Put it on red?
Put it all on red today, mate.
Damn.
Yeah. So.
I'm putting on I mean, the black car livery, innit, Mercedes. Just for the casino roulette reference, I'm putting it all on black. I'm putting it on George.
Silver arrows.
Which takes us, let's go to...
L of the week.
L of the week.
L of the week.
I haven't given this much thought.
Same. I haven't given much thought either.
I said Williams for last weekend, and double retirement.
Wow. Did it?
I've never been more happy for a downfall for a team.
I know, we got it bang on, didn't it? Fucking hell. Double,
It wasn't just one team. It was like, one person. It was both of them. I was like, damn, that was a good prediction.
Yeah, I know. Shit.
I don't think I'll be going for them again.
Yeah, you go first on this one.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Ferrari. Yeah. I'm going to go with Ferrari. I don't know, just something tells me, when there's like a lot of hype and a lot of press towards a certain big moment, and because it's Ferrari, I feel like they're going to fold under pressure. There's this big expectation for them in Silverstone, whether they're going to deliver or not. And you've got so many different factors in Ferraris, like the engineers with their drivers, with Lewis and his, and even Charles with his as well. Strategy is always a bit shaky with Ferrari. They've been a bit better this year, but they're still a bit shaky at times. I think the best thing for Ferrari going right now is the pit stops. And that's the biggest positive you can take from Ferrari is the pit stops. So I'm going to go with Ferrari. I just feel like they're not going to deliver with the upgrades.
Damn. Okay.
Sorry.
I get you. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say it doesn't make sense, but I think Ferrari is a lot like Arsenal. Like, you know what? It's usually the matches you think they're gonna lose is what they win sometimes, isn't it?
I'd say they are. I'd say they're United, man. They were like, it's just because like they're the biggest team in England. They're red, but like they're just kind of like this corporate yahoos. It's like, okay, let's see what we can do. Let's sign Lewis Hamilton. Let's get the praise up. But then it's just underperform for the season. But hey, we've got Charles and Lewis. They just get people up going, innit? It's all about press for them. But no, let's get to the biggest L.
Okay, the biggest L I think is going to be I probably think Haas. I don't know. I think Haas is not gonna do well for me.
Haas?
Yeah. I had to just
anything specific?
Nothing too specific. I think it's just the overall I don't know, overall with the team, is like the vibe I'm getting right now. I just feel like they don't.
They performed quite well in Austria.
Yeah, but you have to. That's 4 cars out of the race.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And
True.
even then,
because the top 10 would have been a bit different if Kimi and Max both stayed.
Yeah.
On the track.
Facts.
So yeah, Ocon wouldn't have made the points. So Haas.
Yeah, sadly to say, yeah. I had to pick someone as well. I think I can't pick Ferrari this time again.
Yeah, you've been betting on that horse a lot. Let's go over to W of the week.
Yes.
W of the week.
W of the week.
Let's end the video off on a positive note.
Okay.
W of the week. Who do you think?
I feel like my W clashes, with my prediction as well.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that is gonna be the W of the week. I think
Ferrari.
Yeah, I think Ferrari's gonna.
Damn, we're the opposites.
Yeah, man.
We went literally opposite, didn't we?
We're will to will right now, man.
W of the week. I'm gonna go Max Verstappen. Yeah. My reasoning for it is, like, he had a DNF in Austria.
He gets hungry, innit? He gets. Yeah.
And I feel like he's going to have an impact on the race win. I don't think he's going to win it. Obviously, from my predictions, I don't have him in my podium. However, I think he's going to make that race interesting. I feel like he's going to add some spice to it somehow. And I think he'll have a top 5 finish, which obviously is not good enough for Max Verstappen. Of course it's not. But it's an improvement from last race, even though it wasn't his fault, but it's an improvement, which means for me is W of the week. Yeah.
I can't argue that. I can't argue with that.
I feel like some solid choices.
Yeah.
Solid choices.
Tense. I love Rhino and Silverstone right now.
I can't wait for it. So yeah, thank you guys for joining. This is the end of the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already.
Please do.
So yeah, see you guys.
Bye.